Hello dear fans, friends and subscribers. Welcome to the Cricket Happening Show, this on 2nd of January 2017. Well, as far as this cricket show goes, there are three things that we are going to look at. One is the first day's play in the second test match at Newlands in Cape Town, where Sri Lanka were the ones who had the luck of the dice on a green mamba, as I said yesterday, and that was what on a greenish tinge pitch. It was Sri Lankans actually, luckily I would say, winning the toss, and their immediate response was to insert the South Africans first on this pitch. And South Africa, well, they definitely, I would say, Lahiru Kumara, the 19-year-old bloke, was inducted. He has already played a few test matches to my belief. He definitely, I have a feeling, he played against New Zealand. So Lahiru Kumara, a 19-year-old boy from Sri Lanka, made his debut, was quite pacey, and I'll be talking about one significant aspect of Lahiru Kumara while on this show today. But as I said, South Africa were put on a bit of a back foot, one could say, but they rallied through a very good century from Dean Elgar. Now, Dean Elgar got his sixth test century, and it was a sort of a really working century for him, because that was the glue around which the South African team revolved today, as South Africa finished at close of play on 297 for 6. Elgar getting his sixth test century to make 129 runs with 15 boundaries, and that was it. So we'll be talking about the story of the first day's play at the Newlands in Cape Town. The other match which is coming up in the new year is the second test, in the final test match of the dead rubber between Pakistan and Australia, and Sydney Cricket Ground is one which is definitely having some superb prospects as far as spin are concerned, because traditionally the SCG has been known to be a real rank turner, and one is really waiting to see what both the teams have in store for us at the SCG. And the other thing is in 2017, here we are going to see New Zealand and Bangladesh get into a different format altogether, and this will be the slam bang version of cricket, as we call it, the T20 version, where Bangladesh and New Zealand will be playing their first match at McLean Park in Napier, and Bangladesh should be hoping that the new year brings them some glad tidings. Well, but right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm going to start off from Newlands in Cape Town, and the first and foremost, I would like to say that the Lankans were able to win a very good toss here at the Green Mamba in Newlands in Cape Town, where Angelo Matthews, the Sri Lankan captain, decided that he will insert South Africans first, and I thought that was the right decision, considering the fact that South Africans would have been proved to be quite menacing on this particular pitch. So he actually had the South Africans actually batting first. Sri Lanka made two changes in their team today. South Africa went with a winning combination, while Sri Lanka decided to drop Kushal Perera, and also they dropped Dushmantha Chameera. And in came, for Dushmantha Chameera, in came the 19-year-old young bloke Lahiru Kumara, who was quite pacey, was bowling at 140 clicks. And also the other change that they made was they got the experienced Upul Taranga to replace Kushal Perera, the out of form Kushal Perera. As far as the match was concerned, all started with a very good start for the Sri Lankans after Angelo Matthews won the toss and inserted the South Africans in, and we saw with the new ball Stephen Cook, who made a century in the last test match, was out to the fourth ball of the on the first day, as it was the first over which was bowled by Suranga Lakmal. Now Lakmal was actually testing him with a few outswingers and an in-swinger, and then finally came the outswinger which consumed the wicket of Stephen Cook. And also let me tell you, today Dinesh Chandimal was not the keeper behind the stumps, and the reason being, even though Dinesh Chandimal was playing in the team, he was injured, and his place was taken by Kushal Mendes. So Kushal Mendes showing his wicket keeping skills right away at the center there, as he snapped up the catch when Stephen Cook was gone, caught by Mendes with the bowling of Lakmal for naught, and that was a great start for Sri Lanka. Hashim Amla came in and joined Dean Elgar. Well, Dean Elgar really, he was the one who was actually getting the runs through the onside, but he was quite watchful too, especially after his opening partner Stephen Cook had departed. So he was definitely playing a percentage game, and he was really making sure that he was guarding his wicket well. Hashim Amla joined in. Hashim Amla looked very good in his brief stint, one thought. Now one thing that I'm coming to here is one would have expected. I mean, Angelo Matthews, the captain, did not give a new ball to Lahiru Kumara, because he is the one who is the quickest of the lot, and especially considering that this is a really a green pitch. I thought, in my opinion, I would say that Angelo Matthews should have probably given the ball to Lahiru Kumara, because Lahiru Kumara was the one who had lots of pace in his delivery. So I would say he's the fastest bowler now compared to Lakmal, Pradeep and Matthews, and one would expect Lahiru Kumara to have taken the new ball, but instead Angelo Matthews decided to go for experience. So Suranga Lakmal and Nuwan Pradeep were the ones who were actually sharing the new cherry, and Angelo Matthews came in as the first change bowler, and probably the ball had got very old by the time, because after Cook's wicket, which fell in the very first over, 20 overs had already gone by, 21 overs to be precise, and here comes in Lahiru Kumara and strikes absolutely rich when he actually got his first wicket, and the wicket was of Hashim Amla. Now that was a big wicket for Lahiru Kumara, and let me tell you about Lahiru Kumara. He has a nice build for a fast bowler, has a nice smooth run up to the wicket, and at the point of delivery, I think he really gives it a real sort of a thrust to it, which really allows the ball to be released at some great pace, and Hashim Amla was cut into half by this delivery from Lahiru Kumara, which went on to tear the stumps of Hashim Amla, and Hashim Amla was walking back, bowled by Kumara for 29 with 3 boundaries, and in the very same over he went on to give a double joy for the Sri Lankans when Dumini was dismissed for naught, as Dumini tried to play a shot with the ball was on the leg side, and Dumini was probably trying to play off the hips, and in the process the ball went in the air, and Kushal Mendes was into business behind the stumps as he took his wicket, and Dumini was out for naught, and Lahiru Kumara, that's a precise reason one probably thought that Lahiru Kumara was the one who should have got the new cherry after seeing the pace at which he was hurling the ball, and especially considering this a green pitch. Well, this is just a purely an opinion of mine, and Dumini was gone for naught, thus putting South Africans into serious trouble, one could say, at 66 for 3. So Lahiru Kumara was very impressive, and after that du Plessis, the captain, came in. Du Plessis started giving company to Elgar as they slowly started pushing the score along. It was a nice little partnership which added 76 good runs for the 4th wicket, with Dean Elgar mostly collecting runs through the onside, and at the other end du Plessis was also pitched at 8, as they knew that they had a job to do here, as they pushed the score on to 142, and that was the time du Plessis, Rangana Herath was the one who actually broke this stand by getting the wicket of Du Plessis. As Du Plessis trying to coming down the wicket. In fact, he was trying to drive at a delivery from Rangana, but in the process, Matthews Matthews in the slips taking the catch. He was gone for 38 with 4 boundaries, which made it 142 for 4. Tenda Bavuma, once again Lahiru Kumara was brought back for his second spell, and Lahiru Kumara immediately struck by forcing Tenda Bavuma to play a flick shot in a very, very awkward manner, which actually sent the ball spiraling into the air, and it was Upal Taranga, who had previously dropped a catch, getting it safely in his hands, and Bavuma was gone for 10, which made it 169 for 5. Dean Elgar was there at the crease, and Dean Elgar reached his century, which was good to see. He got a very good partner in along with him, which was Quinton de Kock. So at 169 for 5, one could say that Sri Lanka were absolutely on the South Africans here. But Quinton de Kock came in, and Quinton de Kock, we know what a sturdy number 7 player he has been for South Africa, and he started giving the much needed support that Dean Elgar needed, as South Africa definitely at 169 for 5 were looking a bit ragged, but finally before close of play, Dean Elgar, after completing a very well deserved century, a workmanlike century for Dean Elgar, but nevertheless a very, very useful knock under the circumstances. His contribution was 129 with 15 fours, and then Lakmal was the one who picked up his wicket, and it was Kushal Mendes behind the sticks taking the catch, and Elgar was gone for 129. And finally, when stumps were drawn for the Kyle Abbott in the last over of the day, which was bowled by Lahiru Kumara, looked very impressive with his batting, I would say, because one was the mere push. Probably it would have made any accomplished batsman proud, as he showed the full face of the bat, and he thrust the ball. It was a mere push, but it was pushed with the full face of the bat, and the ball raced towards the boundary. And also there was a good Yorker which was bowled by Lahiru Kumara, but one thought that Kyle Abbott dug it well to actually pull off a boundary. So Kyle Abbott was looking good, one could say, not out on 16 with 3 boundaries. Quinton de Kock was not out on 68 with 7 boundaries when stumps were drawn for the day on the first day of this second test match here at Newlands in Cape Town. So South Africa definitely recovering in a big manner to 297. As far as the bowling from the South Africans, Lankans were concerned, Lakmal 21 overs, 3 minutes, 2 for 69, definitely did a good job. But to me, Lahiru Kumara was the one who impressed the most. 17 overs, 1 made in 86 runs on 3 wickets. Nuwan Pradeep had to leave the field midway through the innings, and to be completed by Rangana. Nuwan Pradeep 15.4 overs, 3 maidens, run for 46. Also, one thought that on a deck where probably one would have expected Nuwan Pradeep to do something, nothing really came out. Angelo Matthews 14 overs, 3 maidens, none for 30. Rangana had 14.2 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 34, and Dhananjay Silva bowling 8 overs for 30 runs. So that's the match situation on the first day's play in the second test match between South Africa and Sri Lanka. So now from here we get on to some previews, brief previews one could say, as the Sydney Cricket Ground awaits the final test match which is coming up between Australia and Pakistan. I would say Pakistan have something to salvage here, and I can say for a fact that this is the SCG. SCG traditionally has been a really a very, very good turning pitch, and I would have to say that a lot of hopes would be there on the right arm leg spinner Yasir Shah. So this match is definitely going to be seeing a lot of spin, no doubt about it. And there's also some news going on whether Asghar, there is a left arm spinner of whom is highly rated by the Pakistan captain Misbah ul Haq, might get a chance to bowl in tandem with Yasir Shah, whether he will make his test debut. There is some news going on, but really not confirmed news right now, because being a very turning pitch, I mean, I would rather say that Pakistan should definitely take the chance of actually blooding the young Asghar, and I'm told he's the first Balochistan-born player who would be playing for Pakistan. And and Balochistan, as you know, is the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan, as we all know. And Yasir Shah would be, I'm sure he would like to get the support of Asghar. What really goes on, one has to wait and watch. As far as Australia are concerned, for Australia, the spinners are going to be Nathan Lyon, who did a wonderful job, so he would be raring to go on this particular pitch, which is going to help him all the more. And they also have the left-arm spinner Steve O'Keefe in the mix. Now, left-arm spinner Steve O'Keefe is there, and Steve O'Keefe, let me tell you, he has had a very good domestic record. He has been doing well in the Big Bash as well. And Steve O'Keefe, the left-arm spinner, could be quite a handful. Now, the same, as I said, Pakistan have a new bloke by the name Asghar, and he's also a left-arm spinner. Steve O'Keefe is the left-arm spinner. He's one who would be keenly looked at. So there's a lot of variety in this Australian lineup, because they have the right-arm spinner of Nathan Lyon. They have Steve O'Keefe, the left-arm spinner, and if need be, Stephen Smith is there as the right-arm offie too. And also, one could see a debut for one of the all-rounders, young all-rounders from Australia, Hilton Cartwright. Now, Hilton Cartwright, he's more as a batsman, but he's a very, very good handy batsman, and also he bowls at some very good pace. So he would be a person who would be on a serious debut, I would say, because the only thing that I could say is that he's going, if at all he makes his debut, he would be making his debut on a spinning pitch. But definitely he has other weapons to his armory. As I said, his batting is something which is highly talked of. So Australia and Pakistan, so definitely clashing at the SCG, the Sydney Cricket Ground, spinner's paradise, one could call it. And also the Australian team is looking pretty strong. I mean, they are definitely breathing free right now. Matt Renshaw, David Warner, Usman Khawaja. Matt Renshaw might be expected to make some runs here. Other than that, well, I would really say that this Australian team is looking very confident. Let's look at the Pakistan team. As far as the Pakistan team is concerned, Sami Aslam, probably there is an innings which is overdue from Sami Aslam, I reckon. Azhar Ali, Babar Azam is another one on whom the eyes would be drawn in, because one would require. And Babar Azam, I can say that, and one can also say that this Pakistan are good players of spin as well. So we have Azhar Ali, Babar Azam, Asad Shafiq, then the experienced blokes Yunus Khan and Musbah-ul Haq, Sarfraz Ahmed, who likes to use his feet against the spinners. So I think Pakistan is also well placed. So probably this would be Pakistan's opportunity at the SCG, definitely led by none other than the leg spinner Yasir Shah, who has been having an ordinary test series so far, to really strike it when the pitch is going to offer something really rich to the spinners. And of course, it would be Mohammad Amir who would be there, probably Aubriaz, and probably it might be the turn for Rahat Ali to probably be knocked out of the team. Anyways, it has been, I'm told there's been a lot of turn at the SCG in any of those domestic matches that has been played. So let's leave from here, from the SCG, and head towards New Zealand, where McLean Park in Napier is going to see the start of the T20 series between New Zealand and Bangladesh. As far as the New Zealand team is concerned, well, they are going to walk in with ounces of confidence, no doubt about it. But I just would like to tell you that there is one guy by the name Tom Bruce. I'm told he averages, his strike rate is 156 in T20s. So one would be probably seeing him making his T20 debut, and he's quite an exciting prospect. Anyone who has a strike rate of 150 odd in T20s should be something really serious, and one has to really see at what is the brutality with which he can bat in a T20 match. Other than that, well, I have nothing else to say. It's Luke Ronchi. He's back in the T20 mix. and it should be very interesting to see how this New Zealand team plays. But look out for Tom Bruce, as I said, who has a strike rate of 156 in local T20 matches played in New Zealand. And Bangladesh, well, they would be hoping that the new year brings some luck for them. Well, they are also well stocked, no doubt. They are also very good T20 players, and one really looks forward to seeing some very interesting cricket match in the form of the first T20 match of the series, which is coming up between Bangladesh and New Zealand at McLean Park in Napier. That says it all as far as today's cricket show is concerned. Hope you all enjoyed it, and there's more to come tomorrow on my next Cricket Happening show. Till such time, it's your host Ram signing off. Thank you.